Hello everyone, myself Shweta Ahuja, Assistant Professor MERI. Today, I'm going to discuss about global banking failure. In this session, my focus will be on 2023 bank failures, but before coming to that point, we have to understand what is bank failure. A bank fails when it can't meet its financial obligations to creditors and depositors. This could occur because the bank has become insolvent or because it no longer has enough liquid assets to fulfill its payment obligations. The most common cause of bank failure is when the value of the bank's assets falls below the market value of the bank's liabilities, which are the bank obligations to creditors and depositors. Now, what happens when a bank fails? When a bank fails, it may try to borrow money from other solvent banks in order to pay its depositors. If the failing bank cannot pay its depositors, a bank panic might arise in which depositors run on the bank in an attempt to get their money back. This can make the situation worse for the failing bank by shrinking its liquid assets as depositors withdraw cash. There are multiple reasons behind the bank failure. First one is credit risk. Credit risk is the probability of a financial loss resulting from a borrower's failure to repay loan. It arises when loans and other assets turn bad and ceasing to perform and can become the reason of bank failure. And the second one is liquidity risk. It arises when withdrawal exceeds the available funds and the bank is unable to meet payment obligations in full and on time when they become due. After that, interest rate risk. It means rising interest rate reduce the value of bond held by the bank and force the bank to pay relatively more on its deposits than it receives on its loan. There are some other microeconomics factors responsible for bank failure, that is low capital and reserves, greed for higher profit, poor governance, and frauds. In frauds, Vijay Mallya and Nirav Modi are the good examples of people who did fraud with Indian banks. The closing of an insolvent bank by the regulator is known as a bank failure. In India, the bank deposits are insured by Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation, that is DICGC, subsidiary of the Reserve Bank of India. If I talk about global level, specifically USA, when a bank can't manage obligation, a federal or state agency will shut it down. Since the creation of the FDIC, the federal government has insured bank deposits up to $250,000 in the US. When a bank fails, the FDIC takes control and will either sell the failed bank to a more solvent bank or take over the operation of the bank. Any money beyond the $250,000 limit is considered uninsured. This means you might not get all your money if a bank shut down. Now, talking about 2023 bank failure. After 2008 financial crisis, when the collapse of Washington Mutual, which was eventually taken over against its will by the federal government and then quickly sold to JP Morgan Chase, came at the height of Great Recession and remained the largest bank failure in US history. The second reason for Washington Mutual failure was that it expanded its branches too quickly. As a result, it was in poor location in too many markets. As a result, it made too many subprime mortgages to unqualified buyers that leads to bank failure. Several banks were collapsed in this year in USA. One, one is Silicon Valley Bank, after that Signature Bank, First Republic Bank, Heartland Tri-State Banks, and all shut down in 2023. Now I am giving the brief overview of why these banks failed. First of all, talking about Silicon Valley Bank. Silicon Valley Bank was a high profile American bank that primarily serves the technology, life science, and venture capital industries. It was known for its focus on providing banking services to startups, innovative companies, and entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley and other innovation hubs around the world. It was founded in 1983 and is headquartered in Santa Clara, California. After that, why did Silicon Valley Bank collapse? It was closed on 10th March 2023. Silicon Valley Bank invested a large portion of its funds in treasury and mortgage bonds, and the bank's portfolio lost lost a lot of value when interest rate rose. A lot of Silicon Valley Bank depositors were founders of tech startup and companies. Too many people tried to withdraw their money at the same time and the bank became insolvent. Its liability exceeds its assets. As a result, the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation shut down Silicon Valley Bank. How SVB collapse impact Indian startup? It is having a significant impact on Indian startups. SVB was an important lender to several Indian startups. SVB made it simple for Indian startups to save money by allowing businesses to open bank accounts without requiring a social security number or an income tax identification number from the United States. The failure of SVB highlights the importance of financial stability, need of strong risk management practices in the financial sector, the sound investment strategy should be there, and the need for policymaker to carefully consider the impact of their decision on the financial system and the broader economy. And after that, why did Signature Bank collapse? It was closed on 12th March 2023. Signature Bank was listed as the 19th largest bank in the United States by S&P Global with assets worth $110.36 billion and $88.59 billion in deposits in December 2022. The failure of Silicon Valley Bank led to a Signature Bank run on Friday, March 10, 2023. Depositors panicked and after SVB failed because Signatures had high amount of uninsured deposits and was exposed to the crypto sector. Its customer withdrew billions of dollars in the wake of the collapse of SVB. Along with the run on deposits, the bank stock saw its biggest one-day decline on March 10 of 23% since the bank went public in 2004. As a result, trading was halted that day for volatility. Why did First Republic Bank collapse? It was collapsed on 1st May 2023. First Republic Bank had many wealthy customers. A majority of customers had more than the FDIC insured limit of $250,000. Similarly to the SVB and Signature Bank failure, a lot of depositors took out their money in early 2023. Eventually, First Republic became insolvent and the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation shut down the institution. After that, why did Heartland Tri-State Bank collapse. It was collapsed on 28 July 2023. Heartland Tri-State Bank had been grappling mounting challenges before its ultimate failure, reporting approximately $139 million in total assets and $130 million in total deposit. Despite this setback, the FDIC reassured customers that they can access their funds without disruption through checks, ATMs, and debit cards. After that, what are the consequences of global banking failure? First one is loss of saving and wealth. Second one is bank runs and depositors panic. Third one is economic recession and job losses. After that, loss of public trust in the financial system and systematic risk. So, what are the protection of bank failure taken by Federal Bank? Now, talking about protection against bank failures taken by Federal Bank, the Federal Reserve now usually require bank to keep a certain amount of cash reserve on hand to try to reduce the risk of failure. The reserve amount is a portion of the deposit it holds. Typically, a bank must hold over 10% of its liability in cash reserve, but this requirement was suspended in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemics, and it has yet to be reinstated. To better protect yourself against losing money if a bank fails, consider keeping only up to the FDIC insured limit or $250,000 in a bank account. If you need to deposit more funds, you can open another account at a different bank for the same FDIC protection. If I'm talking about banking crisis in Indian context, during the last 5 years, India has witnessed 3 banks failure. First is PMC Bank. Thank you so much. This brings me to the end of the session. Hope you got a glimpse of what are the causes for the global banking failure 2023. Now, I would like to know whether you think there is a relationship between the Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank collapse. Also, do you suggest that digitalization has an impact on the recent trend in the banking industry? Find your answer and get back to me. Thank you.